Hello, everyone. Have you ever felt a moment so warm, so close to happiness, yet one strange sound in the dark makes your heart drop? Tonight, right on the edge of Tet, Alex thinks he's simply taking care of Tuna until he touches her forehead and realizes her fever isn't normal. It's burning, dangerous, and time is slipping through his fingers. So here's the question. What if this hospital visit isn't the rescue, but the beginning of something far worse? And why, in the middle of that cold corridor, does a single beep from down the hall make Alex freeze like he's just heard a warning meant for him? Because Tuna keeps whispering the same words through the fever. I'm sorry, I'm causing you trouble. But Alex isn't afraid of trouble. He's afraid of losing her. And when she finally wakes and asks him to promise they'll go home, all three of them, Alex says, I promise, even though his chest is filled with a fear he can't name. Stay with me for what happens next, because the calm might be the most terrifying part. And if you enjoy this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next one. Leave a comment about today's story too. Late afternoon light drips into the room like it's running out of strength. Outside, Ted is getting closer, but in here, the air feels wrong, heavy, watchful. Tuna is curled on the bed with the blanket pulled tight around her shoulders. Her cheeks are flushed, her lips dry, and her eyes look fogged over, as if the headache behind them is louder than the world. She shifts an inch, then winces, pressing her fingers to her temple. Alex stands beside her and places his palm on her forehead. The heat is immediate, scorching. Not the kind you sleep off, the kind that makes your stomach drop before you can talk yourself out of it. He keeps his voice low, steady. Tuna, your fever's still really high. How do you feel? Her answer is thin, shaky. My head, it hurts so much. She swallows and guilt sneaks in like it always does. I'm sorry, I'm causing you trouble. Trouble, Alex can handle trouble. Errands, stress, late nights, 100 small disasters. But he can't handle the thought that she might slip away while he's standing right here, pretending he has time. He shakes his head, eyes fixed on her. Don't say that. You're not troubling me. Not ever. The room goes too quiet. He hears her breathing, uneven and strained. Then a soft, shaky whimper comes from the corner. Henry. The child is half awake, rubbing his eyes, staring at Tuna like he's trying to understand why his world suddenly feels unsafe. He doesn't cry loudly. He just whimpers like he's trying not to make things worse. Alex's chest tightens. For 1 second, doubt tries to creep in. Maybe the fever drops. It's Tet. Roads will be crowded, hospitals packed. Alex presses his hand to Tuna's forehead again. The heat answers for him. No, waiting is gambling. He decides in an instant, voice firm. We're going to the hospital right now. You can't get better here. Tuna's eyes widen, panic flickering through the fever haze. But it's almost Tet. Your mother. Henry. Alex leans close so she can hear the certainty. Don't worry about anything. I'll handle it all. Just breathe. We're going now. He kneels beside Henry, softening his tone. Hey, buddy. Wake up. We're going for a little ride, okay? Henry blinks, eyes glossy. Mama? I've got her, Alex promises, lifting him into his arms. Henry clings to his neck immediately, silent and tight. Alex turns back to Tuna. She tries to sit up, but her body betrays her. She winces, hand flying to her head. Her shoulders tremble, and for a second she looks so fragile it scares him. He slides an arm behind her back, helping her up carefully. Easy, I've got you. Tuna leans against him, and she's lighter than she should be. That thought lands like a punch. Tears slip down her cheeks. Silent, hot. It's Tet, she whispers. And you're still taking care of me. Those words aren't just gratitude. They're guilt, like she still believes love is something she has to earn. Alex forces a small smile, even as fear rises inside him. You don't have to be sorry, not for being sick, not for needing me. He adjusts his grip, Henry in one arm, Tuna supported by the other, and guides them out into the evening air. A gust of wind cuts through, sending a chill up Alex's spine. The ride to the hospital feels too long. Every red light feels like an enemy. Every bump makes Tuna flinch. Henry stays pressed against Alex's shoulder, unnaturally quiet. Alex keeps talking to Tuna softly, like his voice is a rope she can hold. "I'm here. Stay with me, okay?" Alex signs forms with one hand while keeping the other close to Tuna, like if he lets go, she'll slip away. A nurse checks her temperature and pauses at the number before smoothing her expression. Another asks quick questions: when it started, medication, allergies. Alex answers because Tuna can barely speak. They move her into a room, a needle, an IV, cool medicine flowing into her veins, a blanket tucked around her shoulders. But Alex isn't calm. He sits beside her bed and holds her hand even when her fingers go slack. He watches her chest rise and fall, counting breaths without meaning to. His phone buzzes. His mother. He steps into the hallway. "Mom." She asks about Tuna, then Henry. Alex glances down at the child dozing in a chair, shoes still on. "I'm bringing Henry to you," Alex says. "Can you keep him tonight? I want to stay here with her." His mother exhales, gentle but firm. "Bring him." And Alex, "Don't let her blame herself. Sick people always think they're a burden." Alex swallows. "I know. I just need her to be okay." He drops Henry off and returns. The hospital feels emptier, the silence louder. He sits again beside Tuna, like his body only knows one place it belongs. Hours pass in fragments, nurses checking the drip, the hum of lights overhead. Outside the window, the city keeps preparing for Tet as if nothing is wrong. Then Tuna stirs. Her eyelids flutter open, slow and heavy. The first thing she does is search for him. When her eyes find Alex, relief flickers across her face. "Alex?" He leans in. "I'm here." Her voice is weak but sincere. "I'm so lucky you were here. Through Tet. Without you, Henry and I wouldn't have known what to do." Alex squeezes her hand gently. "No, I'm the lucky one." Tuna frowns faintly. "Why?" Alex exhales, gaze soft and steady. "Because you're here, and I get to be beside you." Her eyes glisten again. The room is quiet but different now. Still cold, still sterile, yet not empty. Alex stands and walks to the window. Tet moonlight spills over the city, pale and calm, like the world is pretending this night isn't terrifying. Hope flickers in him. Hope her fever will break. Hope she'll recover. Hope she'll stop apologizing for needing love. But beneath that hope, something uneasy lingers. Because sickness doesn't always end cleanly. And sometimes the scariest part isn't the fever, it's what comes after. When you think you're safe, and then realize something has already started to crack. Alex turns back toward the bed and watches Tuna's breathing. Steady, for now. And a quiet question curls in his mind like distant thunder. What if this isn't the end of the storm, but only the calm before something worse arrives? The night doesn't move in a straight line after that. It breaks into pieces. Small, sharp moments that don't feel like real life. The faint beep of a monitor, the squeak of a nurse's shoes, the cold sting of hand sanitizer on Alex's palms, the way the hallway lights flicker like they can't decide whether to stay on. Alex sits beside Tuna's bed and tries to pretend he's calm, but the truth is, his body is tense in ways he can't relax. His shoulders are locked, his jaw aches. Even when Tuna's breathing evens out, he can't stop watching her chest rise and fall, like he's afraid the rhythm might change if he looks away. At some point, a nurse comes in to check her vitals again. She doesn't say anything alarming. She doesn't rush. But when she looks at the thermometer and then looks at Tuna's face, her eyes tighten for half a second before she smooths her expression back into professional calm. That tiny pause hits Alex like a warning bell. He stands up immediately. "Is it getting worse?" The nurse shakes her head. "Her fever is still high, but the medication should help. We're monitoring closely." "Monitoring closely?" Alex nods, but his stomach stays twisted. Those words are too neutral, too practiced. They don't mean she's fine. They mean we're not sure yet. When the nurse leaves, the room feels colder. Alex sits again, reaches for Tuna's hand, and holds it carefully. Her fingers are warm, damp with fever sweat. But there's still life there, still weight. He leans closer and whispers, like she can hear him through sleep. "You're not allowed to scare me like this. Do you hear me?" His voice cracks on the last word, and he hates that. He hates that fear is showing. He wipes his eyes quickly, like that can erase the weakness, then rests his forehead against the side of the mattress and forces himself to breathe slowly. Outside the window, Tet moonlight spills over rooftops and quiet streets. Somewhere out there, people are wrapping gifts, cooking, laughing. The world is preparing for warmth, and Alex is sitting in a hospital room, bargaining silently with the universe. Please, just let her wake up again. A soft knock breaks the quiet. A doctor steps in, middle-aged, calm eyes, a clipboard tucked under his arm. He greets Alex with a nod and checks Tuna's chart, then her face, then the monitor. Alex stands without realizing it. How is she? The doctor speaks gently, but there's no sugarcoating. She has a severe fever and dehydration. We're treating it, but she needs rest and close monitoring tonight. If her temperature spikes again, we may need to adjust the medication. Alex's chest tightens. Spikes again? It can happen, the doctor says. Don't panic. We're here. Don't panic. Alex nods again, but his mind keeps snagging on the word can. It can happen. It can get worse. It can turn. The doctor leaves. The door closes softly, and Alex is alone again with the hum of fluorescent lights and the quiet drip of medicine. He sits down slowly, still holding Tuna's hand, and memories slide in when he doesn't invite them. Tuna laughing softly the first time Henry called him Alex instead of hiding behind her leg. Tuna folding laundry with the kind of focus that makes normal things feel sacred. Tuna apologizing for everything, taking up space, asking for help, even smiling too much. He remembers a night when she said, almost joking, "I don't want to be a burden." Alex had laughed then, tried to lighten it, but now the words feel like a bruise. Because she's never been a burden. She's been a responsibility he chose, a life he wants to protect, a person who somehow became essential without announcing it. And the more he realizes that, the more terrifying the stakes become. Hours later, Tuna's fingers twitch in his hand. Alex sits up instantly, her eyelids flutter. She opens her eyes halfway, then winces, bringing her free hand toward her temple. "Hey," Alex whispers quickly. "Don't move too fast." Tuna's gaze searches the room in confusion, then finds him, and something soft loosens in her face. Her voice is rough. "Alex, I'm here," he says, immediately leaning closer. "How do you feel?" She swallows. "Still dizzy, but better than before." Alex nods, keeping his voice calm. "Good. That's good. Just rest." Tuna blinks slowly, then her eyes shift downward, toward their hands. She looks at how tightly he's holding her, like she didn't realize he'd been doing it for hours. Her lips tremble. "I'm sorry," she whispers again. Alex freezes. "Don't. I keep doing this," she says, voice weak but honest. "I keep making you worry. I keep pulling you into my mess." Alex's chest tightens and he shakes his head, fighting the urge to snap. Not at her, but at the thought that she still believes this. "This isn't your mess," he says quietly. "This is life. People get sick. People need help." Tuna's eyes glisten. "But it's Tet. And?" Alex leans in closer, voice sharper now. Not angry, just real. "Tet doesn't matter more than you. Do you understand me?" Tuna stares at him, stunned, like she's never heard someone say that so directly. Alex takes a breath, then softens again. "I'm not here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be." Her eyes fill fully now. "Henry, he's safe," Alex says immediately. "He's with my mother. She's taking care of him." Tuna's shoulders sag in relief, and tears slip down her cheeks again. She tries to wipe them, but her hand is weak. Alex reaches up and gently brushes the tears away with his thumb, slow and careful, like he's handling something precious. "You don't have to carry everything alone," he tells her. "Not anymore." Tuna's breath shakes. "I'm afraid," she whispers. Alex's heart clenches. "Of what?" She hesitates, then says it anyway, voice barely there. "That one day you'll get tired, that you'll leave." That sentence lands like a knife. Alex doesn't answer immediately. He just holds her hand tighter, steady, grounding. Then he leans forward until his forehead almost touches hers. Listen to me, he says, voice low and fierce. I'm not going anywhere. Tuna looks at him like she wants to believe it, like she's afraid to. Alex swallows hard and the words come out before he can overthink them. Raw, honest. I'm already in too deep, he admits softly. You and Henry, you're not just people in my life. You're my life. Tuna's eyes widen. Her mouth parts, but no sound comes out. She looks like she's trying to hold herself together, like her heart is too full for her sick body. Alex gives her a small, shaky smile. So stop apologizing for needing me, you hear me? Tuna lets out a weak, broken laugh that turns into a sob. She lifts her arms slowly, unsteady, and Alex leans in without hesitation, wrapping her carefully in an embrace so gentle it almost hurts. She clings to him the best she can, trembling, and Alex holds her like he's making a promise with his whole body. For a moment, the hospital disappears. There's only the sound of her breathing against his shoulder and the quiet heat of their closeness. Then, somewhere out in the hallway, a sudden sharp beep. Alex's body goes rigid. It's not from their room. It's from farther down the corridor, but the sound slices through the night like a warning siren. A nurse's voice rises, urgent. Footsteps rush past the door. Tuna flinches in his arms, eyes wide again. Alex pulls back just enough to look at her. It's okay, he says quickly, even though his own pulse is hammering. It's not you. It's not you. But the fear is back, cold, immediate, crawling under his skin. Because that beep is a reminder. This place is where things turn without warning, where stable can become critical in seconds, where hope can flicker and then go dark. Alex forces himself to breathe, then cups Tuna's face gently in both hands. Rest, he says. Please, I need you to rest. Tuna nods weakly, eyes glossy. Alex, yeah? Her voice is tiny. Promise me, when I get better, we'll go home together, all three of us. Alex's throat tightens so hard he almost can't speak. He nods. I promise. Tuna's eyelids droop again as the medicine pulls her back towards sleep. Her breathing steadies, slow and even, and Alex stays right there, watching her like she's the only thing holding the world in place. Minutes pass, then an hour. The hallway grows quieter again, but the hospital never becomes truly silent. There's always a distant footstep, a muted announcement, a door opening and closing. Alex sits with his fingers laced around Tuna's hand, staring at the monitor like he can control it with his attention. Outside, the Tet moonlight keeps shining, calm and indifferent. And somewhere deep in Alex's chest, the question returns. Quiet, dark, impossible to ignore. Because what if the storm isn't over? What if this is just the first crack? Alex leans closer to Tuna and whispers, barely louder than a breath. Please, don't let this be the calm before something worse. The monitor continues its steady rhythm. For now, but in the shadowy corner of the room, where the fluorescent light doesn't quite reach, the night feels like it's holding its breath, like something is still coming. On the eve of Tet, Tuna collapses with a blazing fever and crushing headache, while Henry watches, frightened and quiet. Alex, alarmed by the heat under his palm, refuses to wait and rushes them to the hospital. In the flickering corridors, he signs forms, answers questions, and keeps holding Tuna's hand as she drifts into medicated sleep. He leaves Henry with his mother so he can stay by Tuna's bedside, haunted by her constant apologies for causing trouble. A doctor warns the night will require close monitoring, and Alex's fear deepens. When Tuna wakes, she admits she's afraid he'll leave. Alex promises he won't, confessing she and Henry have become his life. They share a fragile embrace, but a distant alarm reminds him stability can shatter anytime. Outside, Tet celebrations continue, while Alex listens for cracks,